If you are considering planting a new tree, first make sure you choose a native variety that will survive in your hardiness zone. There is much to consider when picking the location for your new planting.
One of the things when selecting a site, first thing you want to do is look up, make sure there's no electric lines, which we don't have any lines right here, so that is good. The soil looks pretty good here.
If your planting site is near a roadway, sidewalk, or other possible right-of-way, check first to make sure you have all the necessary permissions. You must call UDIG-NY by dialing 811 or go to the udigny.org website at least 3 days, but not more than 10 days, before you start your planting project to have all underground utilities marked out. When you bring your new tree home, you'll need to remove it from the container to inspect the roots.
All the roots were wound around in the pot, spiraling and everything, so we had to actually pull all those roots apart.
Next, it is important to find the root flare of the tree.
As the stem comes down, especially if we're outside and looking at big trees, you'll see it come down and then it starts to flare out where the roots start to form, and they call that the root flare. That's where the height of the ground should be. When it was in the pot, it actually was showing up here, so we had to remove all the material down to the root flare.
When preparing the hole, you need to consider both width and depth.
Excavator dug the hole to the depth, wider than the tree. We put the tree into the hole, and then the big thing is we took a handle of a rake, went across the hole to determine the height, so we make sure this wasn't too deep or too high.
When placing your tree in the hole, consider the shape of the tree and how the branches will grow.
When we put the tree in the hole, we also look at the form of the tree. So here you can see there's not very many branches going out this way, but on this side there's a lot of branches. So we purposely put it here so we don't have the branches growing into the street. We have them going over towards the sidewalk area.
Then you can backfill your tree. Tamp the fill to get rid of air holes, but don't over-compact the soil. And then place some mulch to help retain soil moisture.
But notice the mulch is not up against the bark. A lot of people make those volcanoes, they call them. They put all the mulch up around the tree, which is not good because the bark is not made for that. The bark will decay and the tree will die.
Installing a gator bag will help ease the watering process.
This is basically a bag that has very small holes in the bottom. There's an opening in the top where you can fill it with about 8 gallons of water. And over a couple days, the water will seep down into the soil and provide water to the roots. So every 3-4 days, you have to come out and fill the bags.
All that is necessary now is to make sure the tree is regularly watered for the first year. No fertilizers or amendments are needed.
And if you do that, this tree should have very good survival and grow to be a nice tree.